Welcome to Wind Chime Storytime.
I'm David.
And I'm Reese.
Today we are reading When We Stayed Home by Fass and Judith Proffer. Enter our giveaway on Instagram to win a free copy of the book.
Let's get cozy and think about why we are staying home. Oh, hi. It's me behind the polka dots. This is my story of when we stayed home. When a scary virus traveled all over the world, we stayed home to help the helpers. And when we stayed home, we became helpers too. And that's me, a super helper. Super helpers do a lot. When we stayed home, we washed our hands all the time. I wore a mask when I was outdoors and near people who don't live in my house. Sometimes the mask was scratchy and stuffy, and not like a superhero mask at all. It was a super helper mask, so I only grumbled a little. When we stayed home, I built 1,000,000 forts, my special space where no masks were required and no virus was allowed. When we stayed home, I fished in the garden under a bluer than usual sky. When we stayed home, I did crazy things with my hair, and I made silly faces too. When we stayed home, I decorated cookies to drop off on my neighbor's front porch. They were staying home too. It's what super helpers do. When we stayed home, I had so many screen visits with family and friends. They always had smiles to see me. Sometimes their eyeballs leaked tears. We had zippy dance parties too. Even my auntie danced with me. She was tiny on the phone, but I could tell she was trying hard to keep up with my moves. When we stayed home, I peeked out the window every day to see my neighbors walk their dogs. I always gave them my biggest super helper smile and a friendly wave hello. I think it made them happy behind their masks. When we stayed home, I did schoolwork and learned so many new things, like which snacks go best with math. When we stayed home, I painted what was living in my dreams. When we stayed home, I was sometimes artsy with my food. I also did puzzles to keep my super helper brain thinking and growing. When we stayed home, I drew a rocket ship on the sidewalk. We couldn't go very far from home, but that didn't stop me from soaring to the moon. When we stayed home, we read lots and lots of books. Sometimes they took me to faraway places too. When we stayed home, I thought about everyone and everything I missed. Even super helpers are sad every now and then. I missed being with my friends in real life. I missed my teacher and classroom and going to school. I missed going to the park and playing on the playground. Most of all, I miss seeing my family and friends who are staying home in other houses. Oh, how I missed their hugs and kisses. When we stayed home, I tried not to think too much about what I missed because my trusty imagination kicked in when I needed it most. When the real superheroes around the world were helping us all, I wore a mask, I washed my hands, and I stayed home. You probably did too. One more thing I have to say. When we stayed home, I didn't have everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed. Thanks for listening to Wind Chime Storytime.
Remember to enter our giveaway on our Instagram. Have a pleasant day.
And the next adventure's on the way.
Bye.